Hey guys, and welcome to the Working Money Channel. Mr. Whale here on Twitter reporting unknown entity becomes largest Bitcoin whale in existence after accumulating 2.4, is that billion with a B? $2.4 billion in Bitcoin. So guys, whales are accumulating, in this particular case Bitcoin, amidst this crypto downturn. Bitcoin right now trading at 16,700 per coin. And it's looking like we're forming new resistance here. If I throw a horizontal line here on the trend, we are hovering just above where we saw Bitcoin dip back down back in late 2020. So we haven't seen these levels for about 2 years now. And since November of 2021, so about a year ago when the market had peaked, we are down right now, or Bitcoin's down about 75%. So we're seeing whales accumulate. I'm sure it's not just Bitcoin, it's likely other cryptocurrencies as well. Even Edward Snowden has come out and said there's still a lot of trouble ahead, but for the first time in a while, I'm starting to feel the itch to scale back in. Now, he posted this back in 2020. This is the first time in a while I felt like buying Bitcoin. That drop was too much panic and too little reason. So he posted this when Bitcoin was capitulating. It looks as though that would have been March 2020. Oh yeah, up here. It says it. March 2020. March 13th, 2020, when Bitcoin was at a low, of course. From there, we did see a big rally, and the rest is history. Now he's saying, I'm getting the itch again. The FTX story certainly has set this market in motion, perhaps for big-time investors to start accumulating again. We are also seeing retail accumulate. If I bring up XRP here on the chart, we can see there was a bit of a pump-up yesterday. Of course, there was also fake news, of this alleged Ripple settlement. I think since this story broke, I think Eleanor Turret did come out, and Charles Gasparino even, and they did say that, I think, one of them said that Fox Business is actually going to put out a statement tomorrow saying that this was in fact fake. Jungle Inc. just tweeting this out. Fox News ran a ticker that settlement is expected tomorrow, while their analysts spewed FUD. What's up with this, Charles Gasparino and Eleanor Turret? This was posted yesterday morning. So the FUD was identified very quickly. Natalie Brunel here, who was interviewed on Fox Business, is a Bitcoin maximalist. So, it didn't take too much sleuthing to realize what her motives were or what they could have been. Nevertheless, the statement was false. There is no imminent settlement for today, but I think that did get the XRP price up, at least for a little bit yesterday. We did kind of bounce back from this level of support here, just over 32 cents. And now XRP is trading right now at just under 38 cents. So a bit of life being breathed into the XRP cryptocurrency. And because of the FTX story, guys, we are seeing a massive panic, kind of like a wave of panic, kind of swoop over the entire crypto industry. Wu Blockchain here posted this from crypto.com. We are currently expecting delays with crypto withdrawals due to network traffic. So if you guys are, still have your cryptocurrency on an exchange and you're getting these types of messages, it's probably because there are a lot of other people doing exactly what you are doing, trying to get their cryptocurrency off the exchange. I've also noticed that Ledger posted this on Twitter. Due to the recent events in the ecosystem, we're seeing a highly increased interest towards Ledger products, and this has led to high volumes of incoming support requests. So if you guys are trying to get a hold of Ledger, they are backlogged as well because a lot of people are not just purchasing, but also have questions for Ledger about their cold storage solution. And I got to thank all you guys who have been using my affiliate link in the description of the video. I've noticed that some of you guys have been purchasing Ledger NANO wallets, so I do thank you for that. It is always greatly appreciated. If you guys are still looking for a cold storage solution where you can keep your crypto safe, get it off the exchanges, again, I do have an affiliate link in the description. I have it in every single one of my videos. I like the Ledger Nano for many different reasons. I personally use it. I have been using it now for 5 years. But like I always say, you can use my link. You don't have to use it. I just want people to keep their crypto safe. Don't want to lose those hard-earned dollars that you have worked so hard to accumulate and then have it go poof, up in smoke because some D-bag at a crypto exchange decided to gamble with your money. Keep it safe, guys. If you don't have the keys for your wallet, your cryptocurrency is not safe. So we've got the crypto.com story. Ledger obviously seeing an uptick in sales and support requests. And even though we're not actually technically seeing a Ripple SEC settlement today, I know that news would have been great. If that news was real, I think the XRP community would be in full celebration mode at that point, considering XRP is still trading at a relative discount right now. I think it could have actually moved the price even more. If XRP was trading higher at the moment, I don't know if it would have, but considering the whole market is depressed right now, getting that news and having XRP sitting at an attractive price, I think could have boosted the price even more, maybe in another dimension. Anyway, James K. Filan posting this. So Judge Torres has granted motions to file amici briefs by November the 18th. So guys, 3 days away. And then he names the companies that are to file these briefs: the Association, 6 XRP holders, Coinbase, the CCI, Valhill Capital, Cryptillion, VeriDAO, Reaper Financial, InvestReady, NSEI, and Paradigm must file their formal briefs. So originally they proposed briefs. Now they actually have to file their formal briefs. Jeremy Hogan down here saying Judge Torres is being very liberal in granting these. The parties know not to waste time objecting. She wants to see it all. So Judge Torres, it's looking as though she's really taken the time to understand something that I think is, I'm not going to say beyond her mental capabilities, but, something that even us in the XRP community, we've been learning about over the last several years, the ins and outs, the technicalities, why a cryptocurrency would be a security versus not be a security, and the utility aspect to it and all that stuff. So she's being liberal, but I also think she's being fair because she wants to know more. She wants to do right by XRP investors. After the SAM and FTX fiasco, Judge Torres now knows how terrible of a job the SEC has been doing in crypto. There's no way Ripple loses. Maybe an unconscious bias too. The FTX thing could play in our favor, fingers crossed. Just knowing what has happened in the crypto world, Judge Torres is obviously going to see this. And, I think it's going to give her even more impetus to make the right decision. And so bringing in as much external information via these amicus briefs could be of benefit to us. Obviously to the case, to Ripple. Jeremy Hogan here responding, I don't think so highly of myself, but in case we just witnessed a strange game of whisper from me to Fox News, what I said was if the Ripple case was going to settle, the most likely time would be from September 15th to November 15th, not that the case is going to settle on November the 15th. So making a little joke there about Fox Business, if I had known the case was settling tomorrow, 2 months ago, I would not be on Twitter right now. I'd be in the Bahamas buying SBF's compound and planning a party for the XRP community. All joking aside, though, with regards to settlement, Gabriel Tudor down here asking September 15th to November 30th now, right? And Jeremy Hogan saying yes. And you might add in 30 days afterwards, but if we head into 2023, I don't see what would happen that would change the parties' positions. So it could still happen before the end of the year. However, if we do move into 2023, still no settlement. He's thinking that the parties involved will stay firm on their positions. I want to keep moving, guys. Tony Valentino's popped up again on Twitter posting this. XRP is the green swan. Now, for those of you guys who do not know what a green swan is, I mean, we all know what a black swan is. And I think Fojak down here even posted this Mr. Pool tweet from January of 21 with this particular black swan swimming in this lake. Interestingly, the Banque of France and the BIS took this image. They actually took that same stock image, photoshopped it to convert it into a green swan with the heading here, the green swan, central banking and financial stability in the age of climate change. Not to mention that they reference Ripple in this article several times. This is from 2020. Of course, a shift onto a new financial system has been underway for a while now. 2020, obviously marking that catalyst event, the beer flu, to support the Great Reset endeavors from the powers that be. So an interesting little connection here. Also, we got to remember that the Banque of France did say this back in March of 21. The country's central bank has openly discussed the XRP ledger as a possible platform for a central bank digital currency. And back then they were referencing this published CPA Australia report where they talk about Ripple and XRP. Ripple and XRP gained attention of many central banks around the world due to its efficient network. In addition, the report highlighted the efforts made by the Reserve Bank of Australia. Whoops, I put that back up. Made by the Reserve Bank of Australia, ECB, PBOC, and the Federal Reserve in the issuance of a central bank digital currency. So at that time, they were already, toying with this idea of utilizing the XRP ledger as the mechanism of choice to run a central bank digital currency. I think they were talking about a digital euro at that point. So a green swan, of course, different than a black swan. According to his book, green swans are solutions that take us exponentially towards breakthrough or systemic solutions to global challenges, solutions that tap into positive exponentials. They deliver exponential progress in the form of economic, social, and environmental wealth creation. Too often, black swans take you exponentially where you don't want to go, whereas green swans take you exponentially where you do want to go. So an interesting little comparison here. Also interesting, the fact that Mr. Poole did tweet this out back in 2021, and the Banque of France utilized that same black swan image and photoshopped it into a green swan, not to mention the connections that both the BIS and the Banque de France has with Ripple. So interesting news there. Something else that I found a little disconcerting is he flaunting it in our face. SBF has been accused of many things over the last few days, but is he purposely deleting tweets to throw us off the scent? This story just keeps getting more interesting as the days go on. I saw this from Wheezy at Nerd Nation Unboxed. Dan Friedberg is the mastermind of all this, says Mark Cohodes, sharing the same sentiment as BitBoy Crypto. So we talked a little bit about Dan Friedberg and his connections to FTX. Well, here's veteran short seller Mark Cohodes, and he shares the same sentiment. Let's not forget Dan Friedberg was FTX's in-house counsel.
Let me answer that in a second, but let me try to offer a solution on the FTX thing, no matter who's listening to this. If law enforcement or someone who can get after people are listening to, immediately bring in this guy, Dan Friedberg. Remember I spoke about him as that poker cheater?
Yeah.
That guy?
The guy who already got indicted for doing this in a different forum.
He never got indicted. He sort of like drifted and he probably got in trouble. But I think Friedberg is the mastermind behind this FTX. And he's not offshore, and he's a lawyer out of Seattle. Bring this guy in for questioning, because I think he is the mastermind behind this whole FTX caper.
So here we have famous short seller Mark Cohodes also pointing the finger at Dan Friedberg. Sam Bankman-Fried could not have done this alone. I also saw this from Ian Binns here on Twitter retweeting out Luke Martin's tweet. Now this is Ken Griffin, CEO of Citadel, highlighting one of the darkest details in the entire FTX solution. I touched on this a little bit, but I didn't really go into it in depth. This clip isn't too terribly long, but he does touch more on that connection to the Ukraine and the Democratic Party.
That all of us are worried about. You know, on the balance sheet of FTX is a line called Trump lose. And Sam was the second biggest donor to Democratic candidates.
I'm going to leave it to everybody else to draw their own conclusions about what you're saying here.
Right? Those are really, really ugly facts when you see a fraud of this magnitude having played out, and you find no regulators were there to prevent it. That's a really, really tough story.
We could talk for quite a while about FTX. Sadly, we don't have it, so I have to finish with.
So, I mean, who has a line item in their budget that specifically says something as blatant as Trump lose? We know SBF was the second largest donor for the Democratic Party. And I'm sorry, I thought it was this clip that touched on the Ukraine thing. I guess it was somewhere else that maybe it wasn't even this morning. It could have been yesterday, where I heard that money was actually going from the Democratic Party to Ukraine. It was going through FTX. FTX was repackaging it, repurposing it, scrambling it, and then sending it back to Sam Bankman-Fried, who is, in fact, the second largest donor of the Democratic Party. So the money allegedly moving in a circle. Certainly things that I'm sure hopefully will get looked into. John Deaton here also pointing this out. You know, if approved, the former FTX chief would have received a jump start on the competition with a trading platform explicitly meeting the SEC standards. People with direct knowledge of the matter told Fox Business. This was a direct quote from Charles Gasparino. In an earlier video that I did last week when this story was first breaking, there was a lot of speculation as to how close FTX was actually with the SEC, and we found out that Caroline Ellison, the CEO of Alameda, her dad was actually Gary Gensler's boss, and if you guys didn't catch that video, I will link it up here in the top right-hand corner. And we did find out later, too, that FTX was in meetings with the SEC months before this collapse. So, more news coming to light. The tie here pointing this out. We've archived Sam Bankman-Fried's tweets over the past year due to a recent bankruptcy and growing concern around his account activity. We've decided to release the list of 118 tracked tweets that have since been deleted after posting. So apparently Sam Bankman-Fried has also been deleting his tweets. Now, these tweets, fairly innocuous at first glance. Just some tweets about raising money, some tweets about Tom Brady having laser eyes. We know Tom Brady did also invest in FTX. Everyone always asks when Moon, but never how is Moon. So, I mean, the tweets aren't really, I've just been looking through this casually. Haven't really seen anything incriminating per se. But I will link this in the description if you guys want to look those over. The one thing that I did find interesting, though, this from Barrica Wall here, is Sam typing his thread in slow motion and deleting select tweets simultaneously so that bots won't detect it. Is that the reason he is doing this? Now, for those of you guys who have noticed, Sam Bankman-Fried here was posting this, and everybody, in the middle of this huge crypto scandal, people are wondering to themselves, what the f*** is this guy doing? What? He posts up here, and then his second tweet, HAPPEN, what happened? It looks as though he was tweeting over, yesterday, over a period of several hours over yesterday. And then down here he writes, in the 10th tweet, not legal advice, not financial advice. This is all as I remember it, but my memory might be faulty in parts. Now, people like John Deaton are coming out. If this is really you tweeting, then you may actually suffer from narcissistic personality disorder and might believe that you aren't going to prison. G down here responding, he's not going to prison because he didn't do anything wrong. Going bankrupt from a severe liquidity crisis is not a crime. So coming to SBF's defense down here, nevertheless, it is a very strange pattern of tweets, considering what is happening right now with Sam Bankman-Fried. Okay, I'll just put you, try to put yourself in his position. If you were in his position right now, is this something you would do? I know me personally, I'd be very, very careful. If I was in Sam Bankman-Fried's position and I had perpetrated fraud and I knew it, I would not be just kind of doing whatever on social media. Maybe he's trying to throw people off his scent in this bizarre, unusual fashion. I have no idea until I read this. So, with regards to these bizarre tweets, there is a theory behind this. Maybe deleted tweet bots were detecting rules requires count to be -1 for 1 minute for something in order to trigger. So check this out. Okay, it actually worked. LMAO, that's what he is doing. So apparently, as he tweets out a single tweet, which is represented here by a single letter, trying to throw us off the scent, he's deleting another tweet at the same time so that the bots do not actually recognize that he is in fact deleting tweets. And somebody uncovered this. Can someone who has TG track the crypto delete bot? Schreider down here saying it is working, in fact. So SBF deleted these tweets. So you can see which tweets he did delete with the tweet bot. But apparently, considering he's also tweeting one letter at a time, or was yesterday, some of these tweets may have not been caught by the Twitter delete bot. I can't believe this crap. This is why the tweets are coming out so irregularly, says Barrica Wall. He's combing through his past tweets, searching for incriminating statements, and will only tweet the next letter in his fake thread as soon as he finds a tweet he needs to delete. Classic sleight of hand. Not only that, he just lied through his teeth to the New York Times about this in case you missed it. So here's a screen grab from a recent New York Times article that was discussing Sam Bankman-Fried's fall from grace. And by the way, the New York Times did make it fairly easy on him. Elon Musk even called it a puff piece. Shortly before the interview, Mr. Bankman-Fried had posted a cryptic tweet, the word what? Then he had tweeted the letter H, asked to explain. Mr. Bankman-Fried said he planned to post the letter A and then the letter P. It's going to be more than one word, he said. I'm making it up as I go. So he was planning a series of cryptic tweets, something like that. But why? I don't know, he said. I'm improvising. I think it's time. Improvising cryptic tweets or lying bold-faced to the New York Times because he's using this as a mechanism to delete other tweets, things that may incriminate him, also things that make you go, Anyway, that's just my opinion, but I want to hear what you guys think. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Like the video if you like the content I'm providing. I always love hearing your comments. See you in the next one, guys.